We've seen plenty of brave, opportunistic moves around the outside. Here we go then, heat number 1 underway, and already some chaos in towards that first corner. Melillo doesn't get the best start. Teal is side by side then with Aero, who got a rocket of a launch. They'll be side by side heading into turn 2. Need to be careful, there's a tire barrier ready to greet you if you're a little bit too eager with the anti-cut curve. All 6 cars through safely.
Yeah, nicely done there, and sliding their way through Druids then on this first lap through the dirt. Up over the jump they go. You've got to watch your landing on that one, and you can see the car in second place, out of control. That's Aero, and that's what happens when you get your landing wrong.
Oh, and he almost backs up into his traction GG colleague there. Melillo screams through just by the whisker of his teeth. Tim Stevens now attacking the back of Trevor Teal in the Nitro Circus Star car. 1 car off to the Joker. Again, 1.5 seconds slower, so GoPro Lopez going to bump himself over the bumps. Try and find some clean track position to set some fast lap times here. Lap 1 in the books. Teal, Stevens, and Retzlaff forming a train of cars. Hard onto the brakes they go into turn number 1.
So easy to get your braking point wrong for this first turn through Paddock Hill Bend, and see the great shot, the way the cars are having to change direction through this. This is something that we'll be seeing throughout the World Championship portion of the broadcast. Tim Stevens making a little bit of contact there with Retzlaff, and well, bang bang, that's what we like to see here. A little bit of contact, but everybody's still going.
And just a reminder as well, damage is off for these races, so with the new healing system on the iRacing service, you may see some cosmetic damage, but that'll get fixed up pretty quickly as these cars continue to roll around. 2 cars onto the Joker, not always ideal to follow someone through. Retzlaff and Stevens then will head onto the Joker. Trevor Teal still out there. You saw just how aggressive they were on entry, but on the merge, can GoPro Lopez get 1, if not 2 positions? He'll get Stevens, I think, at the very least, but coming out behind Parker Retzlaff, who won, of course, at Daytona to kick things off.
See, in that sort of situation, if you're the car following, you almost want to do the opposite of what that car in front of you does. So if they don't go for the Joker, you do, and vice versa. It's not the easiest to do that sort of tactic, though, here at Brands Hatch, because you've got that run through Surtees, and you're already lining yourself up in the entry of Surtees. Look at that over the jump there. GoPro Lopez all over Retzlaff.
Oh, and trying to go around the outside, but the corner does really narrow on as you exit down through the banking of what is now on the outside of Graham Hill Bend. Loses a little bit of momentum, does Pablo GoPro Lopez. Trevor Teal, 2.8 seconds clear, so has managed to cover off the Joker. But not be surprised if he waits until the very last lap of this race and hopes for Retzlaff and for GoPro Lopez to continue fighting. Of course, 6 cars in this heat. 2 will advance straight to the feature. The rest of our competitors heading to the last chance qualifiers. That Fiesta all over the rear end of the Subaru, a little bit tighter. Retzlaff a bit wide coming in through turn 1. That can compromise you as you look rearward with the Dirtfish on board. Pablo, does he have a look to the inside? No, he doesn't. Still on the dirt, slinging their way through the hairpin, through Druids, and now down across that jump. It is such a fun jump, but it's also very, very easy to get some damage when you land very awkwardly. It's something that we've seen on occasion in rallycross competition.
You see how that Fiesta, though, Pablo GoPro Lopez has really got that working nicely, even though it is a fixed setup in this particular competition, the All-Stars. And, well, he's certainly giving it a good effort out there. And in fact, they've been really closing in to Trevor Teal in front. So he did have that gap. He's looking like he may lose the lead when he takes the Joker.
I was waiting to see left-hand side. You can see the timing tower shows which cars have taken to the Joker. Trevor Teal now only 6/10 in front, so has made a couple of mistakes. Wonderful camera shot as the cars sling themselves through that chicane and up the hill towards Druids. Trevor Teal hanging the rear end out one way then the other. GoPro Lopez is going to send it deep and lose a little bit of time. Still within the window, though, for Trevor Teal to come down to the Joker and still cycle behind GoPro Lopez. So looking like Retzlaff and Lopez will be going on through, but here we go down the hill into the Joker for the very final time.
It's good to see Tim Stevens out there, the most dapper man on the grid. He certainly is in his suit and tie, but he's not going to get automatically through straight away in this heat.
Very interesting race suit for Tim Stevens, but across the line, Heat 1 winner, Parker Retzlaff. He'll be followed through to our 10-lap feature with GoPro Lopez, and remember, it's an inverted feature. So these cars that have won will start all the way at the tail end of the field. Lots of work to do, as Aero and Justin Melillo, the two Traction GG cars that almost made contact on lap number 1. Unsafe rejoin that would have triggered Connery Maddock, that's for sure, by Aero. Still manages to come out in front of Justin Melillo. Across the line they come. A little bit of style on offer from the Aero car. Of course, a Twitch streamer likes to do a lot of drifting, so just showing off those skills. So here's a look then at the results on our first heat on the day. Good to see the one Ford in the field up there in second. Parker Retzlaff, GoPro Lopez through to the 10-lap feature. Let's take a look then at the starting grid for our second heat. Here is your Yokohama starting grid. Just 5 cars on offer. Ron Capps, Daniel Dye will share the front row. First time we've seen the ARCA driver of Daniel Dye in action here. Connor Barry, Luke Knupp, plenty of iRacing experience across the two drivers there. Craig Williams, of course, took a dramatic podium at the World Center of Racing to kick things off. Will line up at the tail end of this field. And with just 11 cars in competition today, does mean just one last chance qualifier. It's going to be hectic. It's going to be frenetic. That is what Rallycross is all about. Some variety in this field as well. You've got 2 Subarus and 2 VW Beetles. So great to see some more diversity, not what we get to see when the World Championship cars roll out. Waiting for the engines to rev and for us to go racing for heat number 2. And away we go. Knupp doesn't get off the line at all. Craig Williams will look to the outside of Ron Capps. Beetle 1 and 2. The 360 car powers to the lead. Craig Williams in control.
That's heartbreak for Knupp then. Not getting away at the start. I think he has been able to get away after having issues, it appears. But yeah, through the gun, look at them sliding their way through droids. Yep, there's Knupp. We are missing 1 car from that grid, actually, aren't we? So something happened to Daniel Dye. That means that he's not taken to the start.
You are right. So never say never if you're Knupp. Just wait for some chaos in front of you to unfold, and you might still find your way through to the feature. Williams, interesting call, straight down to the Joker. I don't know if I like this one. You'll come out right behind, I believe, Connor Barry, so he's going to have some lap traffic. It will be close between Williams and Barry, though. That's that Joker merge, but lots more speed for the car that's gone through the regular last turn. It's Barry on the inside, Williams on the outside as they get onto the anchors in towards turn number 1. Oh, Williams, a little bit aggressive on the turn-in, and he sent Barry to wedge himself into the barrier.
Barry, he has got going again as Barry, but yeah, that's dropped him down all the way to the back of your field there. Knupp has taken that Joker as well, as you can see on the left-hand side of the screen. But yeah, not an ideal run through turn number 1 at Paddock Hill Bend, and unfortunately, that contact not quite working out for Connor Barry.
No, and again, it's a good thing that we're here just for some fun, because, well, if things were a bit more serious, the $25,000 was on the line, like we'll see when we get to the World Championship portion of today's action. It will be much more debatable, and hot topic will be those incidents into turn 1 as Williams off into the grass. It just about manages to hold on. We're going to take a look then at the iRacing replay of what happened between Williams and Barry in towards that first corner. Here is a look, looking rearwards from Barry, trying to hold the inside, be that blocker on the inside on the apex of the corner. Not much he could really do as Williams gets into his left rear quarter panel.
And that's the thing, because he's so hard onto the brakes into that corner, all the weight is transferred to the front of the car, so any sort of contact at the rear is going to unsettle it, and it's going to send you into that wall, and that's exactly what's happened. And Craig Williams is around now.
Oh! And what was I saying about Knupp? Being patient, waiting for his opportunity. He'll make his way off the banking and back onto the tarmac. Knupp in second. 4 seconds behind Ron Capps, so not within the Joker Delta just yet. But looking good to transfer as we now wait to see. Is Capps going to come down this time around? You can see, yeah, he's come down. He's going to be in front of Knupp. 2 laps to go. 2 seconds clear.
As soon as that happened for Craig Williams, if I was sat in Ron Capps' shoes, how can you sit in somebody's shoes? But anyway, if I was in his seat, I would have done exactly the same as what Ron has done here. Take that joker lap as soon as he got that huge gap when that incident for Williams happened, and that means that you've got the lead. All you've got to do now is try and keep a hold of it, but when you've got Luke Knupp charging you down, that's easier said than done.
Two different generations of race car drivers. Cap's, of course, a veteran when it comes to the drag strip. Knupp, a teenager, plenty of accolades when it comes to off-road competition, but also plenty of experience on the sim as well. Knupp has been pretty rapid in today's race. His fastest lap is 1 full second quicker than Cap's to the inside. Here comes the Subaru, and into the race lead after not getting off the line. Luke Knupp will take the white flag. 1 more lap to go.
It's not the end of the world for Ron, though. He can stay ahead of Craig Williams. And Craig sets up sharp. That's not the best way of going about that, though, Ron. Oh, and he's into the wall.
Well, chaos and
curse.
I know, chaos and carnage. It's just like Brands Hatcher's welcoming us here for the first time in World Championship action. Heartbreak for Caps, but of course into the last chance qualifiers. Still will have an opportunity to work his way into the feature. Oh, what a wonderful camera shot of the cars launching themselves over the jump. But out front and in control, he didn't get off the line, but Luke Knupp will head around the final corner. Hopefully no major drama here, no commentator's curse to come down, Paul. He'll win this final heat on the day.
Yeah, not a bad drive from the back of the grid, gave himself an 8-second penalty and still manages to come out in the lead.
Checkered flag out, and Knupp takes heat 2. He'll start from the tail end then of our 10-lap feature. Advancing along with him is Craig Williams, who's also getting some star points. There's the 360 that we were waiting for in his VW Beetle. Ron Capps in 3rd, Connor Barry in 4th. Heats are done with just 11 cars in our field for today. It's been a busy week on the iRacing service. Lots of the drivers we've seen join us have had to unfortunately not be able to join us today. We'll see them in 7 days' time, hopefully from the circuit to Barcelona, Catalunya. Knupp and Williams through. Capps, Barry, and Dye. Dye, of course, did not take to the starting grid. We'll head to the last chance qualifier, and those cars already gridding up. Here's a look at the Yokohama starting grid. Trevor Teal, Ron Capps on the front row. Tim Stevens, Connor Barry on row number 2, while Aero and Daniel Dye 5th and 6th positions. Justin Melillo starts at the tail end of the field. But because we have a slightly smaller grid today, what we have decided to do, Paul, is bump the numbers up. It will be all of these drivers advancing. In effect, what they're battling for is grid position. They'll want to start from the front, which means they have to finish at the rear end of this race right here.
Yeah, if you're very clever about things, what you'll do is you'll go as slow as possible, finish last place in this race, and that will give you that you see him right there, front left of the grid.
So here we go. It's 5 more laps to determine our grid position. Aero has jumped the start. That's going to give him a penalty. Connor Barry almost followed him as well. It's interesting then, because already Aero will have some sort of penalty. He might be playing the game. Trevor Teal deep under the brake, and he's the traffic jam that we thought might happen. Who's going to squeak on through? Tim Stevens will be in 2nd position. Melillo's in 1st. They're still wrecking in the background.
Well, I mean, it looks like Bambi on ice there through the first corner. Then everybody slipping and sliding, but they've managed to get themselves going again. It's that battle of who wants to finish last. That's the thing. And Aero's giving himself a very good shot of that, to be fair, by getting a jump start.
I don't think Daniel Dye is taken to the starting grid again, as who was that in the wall? Justin Melillo.
Yeah.
Oh my word. Drama then right off the bat. Lap number 1 will go down in the history books as one of the most chaotic that Brands Hatch has seen, whether it be in real world competition or here on the sim. 1 car dives to the Joker though, that is Connor Barry in the Subaru. He'll emerge then up in 4th position, as we'll now take a look at all of the chaos and action on lap number 1. Paul, talk us through what happened there. Trevor Teal just a little bit optimistically turning into the corner very, very aggressively, and then bounce back into the path of the oncoming traffic.
Yeah, you see just the back end goes out, and then everybody gets hooked up behind him. Stevens, Barry, Capps as well, and well, it's Tim Stevens, the dapper man out front in his suit. and he's yet to take to the Joker lap, and he's got a good gap over Connor Barry right now, about 4.5 seconds.
Only Barry has taken to the Joker so far, but 4 laps left in the race, plenty of time for the rest of the competitors to do so. Ron Capps and Aero having a fun battle, but of course Aero likely to have a post-race penalty as he'll take to the Joker this time around. We saw this during our All-Star Invitational in the spring. Connor Parisi got what some thought was the start of his lifetime. Unfortunately, he jumped the start and as a result lost about 10 seconds in track time, as it were, as Melillo is going to rejoin the track in front of Capps. That was close, but Capps will come around the outside, I think, and hold on for now. Oh, Capps has made a mistake. Capps is going very slowly through 1 and 2. He should hold off Aero at least for the time being. Does mean with the Joker that Capps might emerge behind the Traction GG car. This is very different, Paul. This is not what you expect when you traditionally come onto iRacing, where, you know, so winning is everything, especially when you enter some public races. But here, it's all about finishing at the tail end of the field.
Well, I think Daniel Dye's going to do a good job of that, although he has been having issues taking to the start. So obviously something has happened there. Trevor Teal right now is in for a good shot of being on the front row of the grid because he's not taken back to the track. And with Justin Melillo out there on track, he's decided, well, I'm going to at least finish this race, even if it is a lap or 2 down.
And Teal has apologized in the in-session chat for that mistake as an error around the outside with that extra speed into turn number 1. Oh, he'll clip the barrier, send himself wide. Capps will squeak on through. Of course, Aero still with that penalty will end up in 4th position because Melillo 1 lap down. That penalty not going to be severe enough to drop the car in 4th behind Melillo in 5th. Tim Stevens still yet to come onto the Joker, but he's 3.5 seconds clear, so comfortable and in control. Most dapper man in the field, and also potentially the calmest man is Ron Capps, then makes the mistake through that left-hand sweeping hairpin. Aero will come on through, and unless Capps gets this one turned around in time, Aero might finish in front of Capps now.
It's not the end of the world, is it, really, though? For Ron, it'd mean that he'd start 1 place further up, wouldn't it? So I'm not saying that he's playing the game by any means, by the way. That was a genuine mistake that happened there. One man who's had a pretty instant free race, apart from turn 1, Tim Stevens, he's loving it up at the front.
Oh, the Roadshow editor getting to show that those that can write also can do. That would very much appear to be the case, as that Subaru has looked very much in control. Look at that car body language, the way the car just rotates and maintains the weight transfer around the corner. Very much in control, and a good example of how to take that left-hand banked hairpin into the Joker, over the bumps. For the final time comes the number 64 machine. Tim Stevens should win this last chance qualifier. It does mean he'll line up then in the middle of our 10-lap feature. But out of the Joker, back onto the start-finish straight. Tim Stevens takes the checkered flag in our last chance qualifier. Connor Barry then in second, only about 1.5 seconds off the pace at the end of the day. Given what we saw at the start, wait now and continue to wait for the rest of the field to come on through.
Yeah, here comes Aero, I do believe, across the line. And it'll be Ron Capps in a moment. He's behind Justin Melillo, who comes across the line. There's Ron across the line, so we should have our official results.
And so now, here's a look at these results from the last chance qualifiers. Tim Stevens wins, Connor Barry second. As we said, Ron Capps and Aero do switch around. Justin Melillo 5th, Trevor Teal 6th, so he should start at the point of the field. But we are now ready to go. 2 heats, 1 last chance qualifier done. We're going to take a short break here on the iRacing Esports Network. Don't go anywhere. Feature racing action in the All-Star Invitational coming up next on the iRacing Esports Network.
Take your driving to the next level at Dirtfish. Gain confidence behind the wheel of an all-wheel drive Subaru STI or rear-wheel drive BRZ. Get sideways with skills on gravel, mud, and tarmac. Dirtfish offers programs for every driver. Visit dirtfish.com for details.
Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network for coverage of the 2021 iRacing Rallycross World Championship presented by Yokohama. There's one thing that separates first place from the rest of the pack: the finish line. High-performance, race-inspired Yokohama Advan tires give you the drive to win. Discover Advan at yokohamatire.com. My name is Arjuna Kankipati. Alongside for the action today is Paul Smith. And Paul, Brands Hatch, such a fun racetrack, and plenty of chaos was shown there in the heats and the last chance qualifiers. We are now ready. 10 laps, 11 drivers. Boy, is this going to be interesting.
Certainly is, and these drivers, they've been having fun all day. Apologies, I just went and punched the microphone. But yeah, these drivers have been having fun all day. Absolutely loving it, and yeah, they're all taking part in this feature race, and that means that they all get the opportunity to race each other at once now. If it wasn't crazy enough with the heats and the last chance qualifier, now we've got them all together on track. That's going to be a little bit mad, a little bit crazy.
And here's a look at our 2021 schedule. Of course, the All-Star Invitationals preceding our World Championship action for the first time in 3 previous years. So this is the 4th season of World Championship action. We have 9 races with 9 unique venues. No repeat visits to any of the facilities on the iRacing service means challenges for veterans and rookies alike, as GoPro Lopez goes. Dirt tracking in the background. That's not the line, Pablo, that you're meant to be taking, but we're here at Brands Hatch, Paul, on this side of the pond for the first time. 3 European races, Barcelona coming up after this, and of course Hell Lankenbahn, which saw 2 races last year in the World Championship. Some really fun racetracks, and it's great to see Rallycross continuing to add new venues to its roster.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to see this coming in for everybody, and don't forget that you know, if you are an iRacing member, then you can compete in the Rallycross events all the way through the iRacing season. If you want to, if you aren't a member, do head on over to iRacing.com for details. There is currently a 40% off all new memberships offer happening right now, so make sure you head on over to iRacing.com, where you do actually get a rookie Rallycross series as part of your subscription, and yeah, you get a few of the courses, and you also get the light version of the VW Beetle. So it's definitely a great way to sink your teeth into iRacing's Rallycross.
Yeah, it's a proper ladder that's now being built up on the dirt road side of the iRacing service. Like Paul mentioned, you've got the VW Beetle Light. There's also a fixed Rallycross series once you get to the supercars, 600 horsepower, 0 to 60 in about 2.5 seconds before you get to the open setup supercars action itself. And of course, just a reminder as we get ready to take a look at our Yokohama starting grid, iRacing special event calendar continues this coming week. Crandon hosts the Trucks for what should be a thrilling race weekend. Starts already with our daily races that you can take part of, all building up to super sessions this coming Saturday. Here's a look then at our Yokohama starting grid for round 4 of the iRacing Rallycross All-Star Invitational. Daniel Dye, not sure if we're going to see him take to the starting grid. Technical issues, haven't seen him roll out onto track just yet, but might be Trevor Teal alone on the front row. Justin Milillo and Arrow, the 2 Traction GG cars, share row 2. Connor Barry, Ron Capps, 5th and 6th positions respectively. Been an interesting run so far for them in 2021. Tim Stevens and Craig Setup Shop alongside each other, 7th and 8th, while GoPro Lopez and Luke Knupp, 9th and 10th. Parker Retzlaff, winner at Daytona, will line up at the tail end of this 11-car feature. 11 cars here at Brands Hatch. Watch out for turn 1, Paul. It might be a traditional M25 traffic jam.
Sorry, I've just overheard what Aero said in the race chat, and he says, I'm in danger. He's on the front row of the grid, so good luck to him.
Trevor Teal hasn't lined up either, so row 2 becomes row 1. We'll have to wait and see how this fares out. 10 laps on the board. No car on the inside. We're on caps. Jump start. We saw that in the last chance qualifiers. We see that once more. Craig Williams gets the whole shot, bullies Ron Capps out of the way. Capps get a shot from behind. He'll turn Connor Barry. Carnage and chaos in through turn number 1. Cars going all sorts of sideways. Out front, though, Aero emerges in the race lead. Justin Melillo battling side by side with Craig Williams. Williams around the outside.
Parker Retzlaff, the real driver who lost out in all of that, and more contact happening through Druids. They're all trying to fight over the same piece of dirt, and that generally doesn't work out well. GoPro Lopez battling and banging his way past Connor Barry. Look at that slide job from looking up, and it's chaos at Graham Hill Bend.
So Barry and GoPro Lopez are having to get themselves turned around and pointed back in the right direction. It's allowed Aero and Craig Williams to run away at the front of the field. Tim Stevens has managed to scamper his way through the chaos to emerge in 3rd position. Justin Melillo running up there in 4th. Parker Retzlaff completes the top 5. Left-hand side of the screen, you'll be able to follow the Joker progress over the course of these 10 laps. When the timing tower lights up, you'll know which car is taken to the Joker. Retzlaff side by side with Melillo. Melillo decides it's not worth fighting. Retzlaff is going to knock the wall down, but holds on for now. In through the chicane, where you can try and cut as much of those anti-cut curbs as you feel comfortable doing, and up the hill into Drew as they come.
To say that Retzlaff was the worst off of the Turn 1 incident, he's done well to actually find himself suddenly in 4th place. He must be thinking, what on earth has gone on here? Well, I'm sure we're about to find out.
So here's a look then at your iRacing.com replay. Basically, I think we need to take a look at the entirety of lap number 1 because, well, it was frenetic to say the least. GoPro Lopez and I believe that's Barry, they were side by side heading into the left-hand sweeper. They got themselves tangled up with one another. Somehow, Tim Stevens emerges unscathed through all of that chaos as onto the Joker comes one of the Traction GG cars. I believe that's Melillo will emerge behind GoPro Lopez. Aero and Craig Williams now only separated by 0.4 of a second, so that Beetle is hunting down the race leader. Both cars outside of the Joker Delta right now, so for Tim Stevens, he needs to pull up the gap to about 2.5 seconds. Try and close in on these leaders. Over the jump they go and sliding their way back onto the gravel.
As, through that corner then at Graham Hill Bend, and Craig Williams is just biding his time right there, and well, he's decided to take to the Joker now, get it out the way, although that's not the best entry into the wall. He's lost himself more time there, and well, he's trying to do a grind down the wall there, not quite up on the top of that wall there, Craig, so points lost for that one. But yeah, Craig just losing a lot of time, and right now if I'm Aero, I'm possibly thinking take the Joker on this lap.
That was a nice Tony Hawk impersonation there. Like you said, though, doesn't nail the landing. Is going to lose style points for that one. The gap, 1.8 seconds. What can the Traction GG car do? I think it's fair to say as well, not being the easiest of 2021 All-Star Invitationals for both Aero and Justin Melillo. Melillo's had some sort of an issue that's seen him pull himself down onto pit road. You can see on the left-hand side of the screen, everyone except your race leader has come down to Joker. Only 3 laps done, and Aero is going to stay out there for now. You can see coming through Clark Curve, using the tarmac, trying to build up the power. 4-wheel drive, you want to make sure that you're turned in before you slam onto the throttle and go foot to the floor. That gap's 1.4 seconds. I think even with the Tony Hawk impersonation, Craig's setup shot might still be in a good position to take this lead away.
But this is why, if I was Aero, I would have taken that Joker straight away, because he just was on that borderline of staying in front, and it's easier to defend if you're actually in front of the driver than if they just close up the gap. And now look at it, Craig is right there with Aero, and it's pretty much a given.
Over the jump he'll come, putting the pressure on. Riding around with the Yokohama onboard, Aero likes to drift, gets the rear end out, but that's going to cost him time. Almost halfway through this one. Does Aero come down this time around, or is he going to stick out there and frustrate Craig Williams? He's going to stay out there. He's going to frustrate the Beetle, but to the inside, Williams had a thought about it. I'm not sure what happened there. Did he get a slowdown penalty?
Yeah, he possibly did get a slowdown penalty, so that cost him a ton of time, but not enough for Aero to pull away enough.
Something's happened to Connor Barrett. You could see the left-hand side of the screen. He's dropped behind Ron Capps at this point in time. Brands Hatch, really a brutal racetrack, it turns out, when we have this rallycross configuration. GoPro Lopez chasing down one of the best in the dirt, Luke Knupp, sliding through that chicane. That's the type of attitude that we'll see from the cars when we get to the World Championship portion. Knupp looking really, really strong. GoPro Lopez has been one of the fastest cars, though, throughout this first part of our action today.
Yeah, but it just goes to show, if you've got that inverted grid and you start towards the rear, just how much it disadvantages you. You're more likely to get involved in the shenanigans on lap 1, which is exactly what happened to GoPro Lopez. It's all well and good having that speed. You've then got to make the moves to make it count. And to describe what the Joker Lap is for those who are new to rallycross action, you can see there on the left the dirt that rejoins onto the track. Joker Lap is in effect a one-off that drivers have to take. Usually on an American track, it's a shortcut, anywhere from 3 to 11 seconds shorter than the regular lap. Here on the European circuit, even if it's a shorter distance that you travel, tends to be a little bit longer in terms of time. So in the case of Brands Hatch, 1.5 seconds slower than the regular lap, and that's by virtue of the fact that it's a dirt corner. It's also very, very bumpy, so you lose a little bit of time there. It's all about timing that Joker strategy to find some clean air and make sure you position yourself in the perfect possible position. Looking rearwards from Luke Knupp, being chased down by GoPro Lopez. Yeah, GoPro's just not keeping up with him at the moment, and with Aero being the only one yet to take to the Joker Lap, GoPro Lopez